Tonight we're focusing in on Zoom with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Ah, a baby tiger. Check out his claws as he prepares to pounce on that frog. Close one, but not as close as this Zoom. We can literally count the whiskers and... Oh look, Mum's here. Good thing I'm nowhere nearby. Go wild with Galaxy AI on the new S24 Ultra and zoom in on the epic day or night.
Get yours now at Samsung.com.
On April 5th,
You must be very careful, Margaret. It's the girl.
witness the birth
Bad things will start to happen. Evil things.
of evil.
It's all for you. No, don't.
The first omen
I believe the girl is to be the mother.
Mother of what?
is the most terrifying
666 is the mark of the devil.
movie of the year.
What's not real? Who said that?
The first omen. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. Only in theaters April 5th. Get tickets now.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Ewan McGregor stars as Count Alexander Rostov in A Gentleman in Moscow, the new limited series based on the best-selling novel. Stream it on March 29th with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
You guys have been asking me for, 100 years to do a makeup tutorial. You love my eye look that I don't know, I've been wearing it every day for probably 3 years. My makeup artist in Washington, D.C., Pam Giacchino. She mostly does hair, so you can book Pam Giacchino, who I love. Pam has put together my looks for years, and she gave me this very simple makeup look that you can do at home. FYI, every single makeup product that I'm going to show for you today is all on my Amazon shop. So boom, you can purchase it there or in the description of this video. I am going to start, and I did an AMA. I put it out there. I said, what questions do you guys have that you want to know? And there's some good ones. So I'll get to that. Okay, skincare routine. I am 42. I have not done any plastic surgery yet, or even Botox in 2 years. No Botox, no lasers, no filler. I'm depressed. I would love to do them, but I want to have another baby, and until I have my other baby, I'm just not going to do it. So I've been using a lot of skincare products. Feel free to get them. Tatcha, their dewy serum is what I put first. I already did my skincare routine. I do this every single morning, wash my face every day, usually at night too, but if I don't wear any makeup throughout the day, I don't wash my face at night. But anyway, this is a serum. I start with my serum. Then I actually genuinely use OneSkin. They're a sponsor of the show. Order from them. Unbelievable products. Never had heard of them till they started working with me and was a bit skeptical, but love OneSkin. Their OS01 peptide, it actually really works. I use this is their topical essential eye cream. So I do the serum, the eye cream, then I do the OneSkin topical face, all over the face, and then I end with Paula's Choice Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid, which is an SPF 50. All over the face, all over the neck, because y'all know I live here in California, so a lot of sun. All right, ready for my makeup tutorial. I usually start with my eyebrows. So let's start with the brows. Eyebrows, I just kind of fill in myself with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. Has this awesome, you can kind of see it, pencil. So I use the pencil. I take the brush. I have super thick eyebrows. I also want to get my eyebrows done, but I, again, don't really want to do or put any products on my skin that I don't need to till after I have the baby. So do this full thing. And while I'm doing this, I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys asked. And one of the first questions that people wanted to know is, Sarah, what do you do when you lose your confidence? Which I loved this question so much because I had to really think about it. What do I do when I lose my confidence. And it's something that I learned from watching and studying Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you follow Abraham Hicks, this study of them online, but kind of a cross between like a little spiritual church and a motivational speaker. They taught me when you are nervous, when you have lost your confidence, when you feel like you can't do something, you have to make in that moment something fun. You have to think about it being fun. You have to realize that everything you are doing in life, everything that you want, if it's not bringing you joy, if you are not elevating to your highest level, highest self, then it's going to be very hard for it to be meant for you. So I have fun. I think about having fun, and I think about the thing that brings my confidence back is I think about where, actually I'm going to take this jacket off because I feel like it's rubbing against the table. The other thing I think about is anyone going to care about this in 100 years? Like, we're all going to be dead. No one's going to give a shit. So be confident. Be confident. Be assertive. Have fun with something. Put it all out there. So that's what I do. I remind myself and I have fun with it. All right, I'm almost done doing my eyebrows. This is, by the way, an everyday look. So you can use this. Okay, you can see, and your eyebrow should always meet the top of your nose line right about here. So now I'm going to move on to the other one, just kind of starting at the edges and moving in. You can also watch this tutorial on my YouTube, which I'm sure, I think that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to watch it on there. Another question I got was people wanted to know if you didn't co-host or if you could work with another show like you work with David Yontif, what other show would it be? Okay, so funny. I feel like you read my mind because I've been thinking about that. And if you're wondering, well, wait a minute. Tell me about David Yontif. I don't tune into those shows. So David Yontif is an incredible podcaster who has taught me so much about this business, about making money from podcasting, about how to grow your show, how you should deal with interviews, how you should deal with guests. And David, 2 years ago, on a whim, reached out to me and he said, I'd love to do a podcast trade with you. And I'll be on your show, you'll be on mine. We'll do it that way. So genius. Now, for the most part, I do not have guests on my show unless I'm on their show and they're on mine, because you find out, just podcasting tip, that if they come on your show, they get all your audience, but you really don't get any benefit because most people are busy. They forget to promote your show on their platforms. So you've just said to your entire audience that you've built and been loyal to, oh, hey, go listen, or go buy their product, go listen to their podcast, and you could potentially be basically giving them listeners and you're not getting anything. But if you do a pod trade, you're getting something. So David taught me, he showed me the ways, and we have been podcasting together on Thursdays, usually Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. We do pod trades and we talk all about Bravo shows. Bravo celebrities, Bravo shows, Bravo gossip. He is so much fun, so funny, and it's done wonders for both of us. We've traded audiences, new people have found me, new people have found David, and it really worked. So it's funny you say that because I would love to find the next show to do that with. And I was thinking about Dumois. I love Dumois show, and I've been on Du's show a couple times. I was thinking about the Taylor Strucker show. I would love to work with Taylor again. She's been on my podcast. I've been on hers. And then I'm thinking, do I do a whole different category? Should I look into, I'm a fair weather true crime fan. You guys know this about me. I'm not a huge true crime fan. I'm just not. I find it depressing to listen to. The only true crimes that I think are fascinating are the cold cases that are now being solved 30 years later because of DNA. That's about it. I don't find, most of the time people are murdered by their spouses or an ex-boyfriend. I don't see how that's terrific. Now I can look at Dan every night and go, okay, is this it? So, but I do think maybe news. I'm obsessed with Joe Rogan, the Bill Maher. I love deeper conversations about our society and politics. So I'm kind of thinking about Joe Rogan. Yeah. Joe, do you want to do a pod trade, my love? Every single month. I'll be on your show, you be on mine. I think you might have this with Tim Dillon, but what do you think? I'm open for suggestions. Do you guys, is there a show that you like that's in maybe a different category, but we'd share similar audiences? My audience is mostly women, ages like 30 to 50. So if you guys know any others, let me know. Who else? Actually, the other person I was thinking is Spidey. Spencer Pratt. I love me some Spencer Pratt. So I was thinking Spencer and Heidi might be a good one. Okay, after I fill in my eyebrows with a pencil, I end it with 24-hour Brow Setter by Benefit. Great product. It's clear. It just sets the brows with the pencil. So you take your clear brow pencil, you just do it in upward motion. Just don't be afraid to get those caterpillar eyebrows up, up, up. And you kind of set it with that. Then you can go back through with your pencil if you see any patches that didn't fill in. Next, we're going to move on to eyebrow primer. Love a primer. I use Milk Makeup, their Hydro Grip primer. Do it right. It has a little wand. Boom. Put it on your eyelid. Put it on the other eyelid. I'm going to press it in with my finger. Does great to hold your makeup, your eyeshadow. What I like about this makeup tutorial that I'm doing is I am not, I'm not like a pro makeup woman, but I can do it well enough that you can have an everyday look that people compliment you on, that's easy and doesn't have to be intimidating. Some of these makeup tutorials that I watch on TikTok, I feel like they always forget showing you a step. And it's very hard. Put the primer on. Now I'm going to do my face. NARS. NARS is some of my favorite products. Used for their under eye concealer. I'm going to use, to start with, their light Café con leche. I put the Café con leche under both eyes. Apply generously. I do it on my chin, around red spots around the nose. I do it between the eyebrows and a little above. All right, we're going to take our concealer sponge, press that in. Press that in everywhere. Dab on the nose and the chin. Everybody does their makeup routine differently. I see people do their face first and then they do their eyebrows. I see people put their contour on, their blush on, and then they press that in. Then they add a little bit of contour later, whatever you like. But I usually do this routine. Okay, so when the sponge, obviously you wet your sponge, but the sponge can't get into your smaller kind of crevices. So I use my Sephora 57 brush, the Pro Concealer brush, and I can just press it in, work my concealer in, even in top on the eyelid, above the eyebrows, work that in. So you're getting that nice kind of crisp look. Outlining your eyebrow and getting that in for you. Okay. Yes. All right. Another question that was asked to the Sarah Fraser Show. If you hadn't married Schman, who would you have married? I don't even know at this point. Schman is so the right man for me. And I don't know how Schman didn't leave me. I played so many games. I guess that's saying what's meant for you will be yours, because he should have left me 18 times. He did. We dated for 6 years before we got married and broke up. I dumped his ass to get with other people and then get back with him. I think there was one guy in Arlington that he lived in DC. I might have married him if I hadn't married Schman, because I was sort of starting to see him and then met Schman. Went back and dated him for a hot second. So that guy. Always wonder what he's doing. I don't think he ever got married, but I feel like he's had several girlfriends. So maybe I was kidding myself. Foundation. We're using NARS Vienna, color Vienna. Putting it on my sponge, pressing it in. Pressing it in all around. Pressing that in. I do a lot of concealer. I have found my problem with makeup is usually I don't put enough on. I think that less is more, but the problem is I put too little. And a pro tip that Pam always taught me was, if you have extra foundation on a brush or on your sponge, you can always take it to the forehead. Take it to the forehead, press it in like to your, take it to your ear, take it out into your hairline. I mean, not that, you're going to have to go back and touch your hair up so you don't have full makeup in the hair, but you can absolutely work with excess product. So don't be as nervous about putting too much on. So I press my NARS foundation in. I have tried so many foundations, so many makeups. I don't like that many. I don't. That was one of the other questions that people asked me because they wanted this makeup tutorial. What other eyeshadow palettes do you recommend? I have 0 recommendations for you. I have 2 that I never use. Okay. So Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Strip. What I dislike about it is it's so fragrancy. I have an issue with fragrance. I hate it. I swear it gives me migraines. It's terrible for you if you're trying to get pregnant, because it literally blocks the hormones. Go and Google this. Do research on what fragrance does for you. Burning candles in your home. It's the worst fucking shit if you are trying to get pregnant. So I don't like that palette, the Too Faced Born This Way palette. It's beautiful. The browns, the maroons are gorgeous, but can't stand it. The other one that came highly recommended to me, it's probably user error, but Nude by Huda Beauty. This was recommended to me by a Sephora individual. I think it's cheap. The packaging is cheap. The makeup falls, the eyeshadows. I've only owned this a couple of months. The eyeshadows are already like falling out or breaking up. Again, maybe it's user error because this the Huda Beauty palette came super highly recommended, but I also find that the pigments don't last long on my skin. They just don't. So, okay, my NARS foundation is done. I put the under eye. I put the concealer, the whole thing on my lips. Now we're going to do contour. Mario, Makeup by Mario. I use his concealer, light medium. Concealer, I have been told, right? You can kind of suck in your cheeks. Do it right under your cheek line. Do it on each side of your nose. Again, there's so many contour techniques. And I do it at the top of my forehead line. Okay? I don't do it under the chin anymore, but a lot of people do. You certainly can. I just I think it looks a little bit more natural and smooths out a bit better. And I'll like end up taking my contour brush and taking it down to my chin line, but I don't put the contour on the chin line. All right, to press this in, I'm using the Pro Foundation 56 brush from Sephora. You can kind of tap it. See a lot of women tap, tap, tap it in. The old tap. Or circular motion for the forehead. Bring it into your hairline. Do it that way. I call him the no-Zempic, been on Ozempic doctor. I'm talking about Dr. Applin and his wife who founded My Optimal Body. I'm so happy about this. These are the first mindful eating-based doctors I have ever partnered with. They see patients nationwide, and they are seeing more patients who have been on Ozempic, and Ozempic has failed for them. What makes My Optimal Body so unique, and why am I endorsing them? It's because Dr. Applin actually looks at food additives, your addiction to food, your mental health. They do a whole look at you, including your gut health. Many of Dr. Applin's patients are working out, restricting their diets, and still gaining weight. Why is that? Because something's going on in your body and with your mind. Visit myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. Be sure to tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you so you can qualify for a free personalized assessment plus a bonus free 30-day supply of their gut repair product when you sign up for a customized plan. Again, that's myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. Go from there. Another question asked by the AMA was what television I'm watching. Can you share the TV you are currently consuming? Oh my God, I feel like I share this all the time. But let's see, I've been watching Patriots, The Dynasty documentary. Excellent. You know, I'm a Pats fan because I'm from New England. That was so good. I watched Quiet on Set. Oh my God. Okay, what am I talking about, Sarah? You haven't told people that. I watched Quiet on Set about Nickelodeon, about the Nickelodeon shows. And P.S., you're hearing it here. You may have seen it on my social media, but Drake Bell, who so bravely in the documentary reveals that he was sexually assaulted by Brian Beck, a producer who raped him on, not on the set, but became very friendly with him. And Brian is a fucking nut job who in the documentary used to be pen pals with John Wayne Gacy, the guy who killed men and boys and dressed like a clown, the infamous serial killer. Used to be pen pals with him in jail and worked with kids. And do you know, Drake Bell gives his first super revealing interview since the documentary on the Sarah Fraser Show. It's going to be in a two-parter, Monday and Tuesday of next week. And he goes into detail about how Brian Beck is still allowed to work with children, like as long as there's another adult in the room. That's how Drake Bell was groomed. Drake Bell also talks about, you know, he does talk a little bit about conspiracies that are out there of Hollywood. And does Hollywood support pedophiles? He has a lot to say about that. Josh Peck, his co-host for Drake and Josh, they've spoken since this whole incident. What does he have to say? We get into all of it. It's going to be very, very good. So I've been watching Quiet on Set, Patriots documentary, and then I watched Oprah's Ozempic on ABC. I have further thoughts. All right, so we contoured, did some contour just under the cheek line. I love a little contour. This is a good time too. Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. Amazing. I'm a huge Charlotte Tilbury fan. Great products. They last a long time. They're expensive, but they work. So I do a couple sprays of setting spray throughout my makeup routine. Let's do the blush. Liquid blush, Mario. Makeup by Mario, Earthy Pink. Smile is a good way to do it. Smile. Tap those cheeks, cheekbones. Just do it on your cheekbone. I do it on the bridge of my nose. And do it on the other side of my cheekbone, and that's it. Some people take it up to their hairline. I do that with the brush. I'll show you how I do that. But that's how I start. Then I'm going to press in the Mario blush with my 99 Sephora Pro Blush brush. The Pro Blush brush. And I'm tapping it in. Keep smiling if you need a guide. And you just keep tapping. You can bring it on up if you want to your hairline and around the forehead. I like doing that because it just, to me, I work it in on the bridge of my nose, and then I take it up onto the eyelids as well. Kind of makes more of a cohesive face color for you all around. You don't want harsh lines. You don't want harsh like, oh, this is where I can definitely see that she has blush on. You kind of want the blush, the contour to work throughout the face. I do anyway. I want it to kind of look natural. We still got to work in the blush. I want it to look natural, a little bit seamless, no tan, no like tan line, but just a good, nice dewy face. I like a dewy face. Okay. So I feel like I put probably a little too much liquid blush on. So the best part about this is you can just take your sponge, go back over everything, kind of press those lines, smooth it, blend it in a bit. It's why it's called the Beauty Blender. Blend in the color so it matches your contour and you don't have a harsh line at your cheek with your blush. I take the sponge, do it all around the head, just kind of press in the color so it looks a little less obvious. All right. Then if you want to get a little bit even more blushy with it, NARS, I use their Orgasm. Take your brush blush, tap, 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 hit the product, tap, 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 and just bring it back on to your cheekbones. Press it right up into the hairline, and you can add a little more color after we took some of the color out with the blender. The Beauty Blender brush. Okay, love a Beauty Blender. I use cheap ones all on Amazon. You can see on my Amazon shop. The Oprah Ozempic doc. So we did that. We have now done our contour. We've done our blush around the face. You can bring it up to the forehead. And again, if you see any lines, if you see anything, you can just take the Beauty Blender, go back over it, smooth everything out. All right. We are going to then take, I like to add a NARS Laguna 2. This is a bronzing powder. After I have done my face, I have done my cheeks with the blush, with the contour, I take the Laguna bronzer powder from NARS, take my brush. It's the 59 Sephora, the Pro Powder brush. I take it, tap, tap, tap the extra product off, tap, tap, tap. And then I start at the outer edge of my cheek and just bring the bronzer in a C from the cheek down to my chin. So instead of doing contour on the chin, I just like to smooth everything out with the Laguna bronze, making a C pattern. Just do it all over the face. I love the bronzer. I do it on the forehead too, making a sweeping C. And there you have it. Take it down to the neck, take it down to the neckline. Yes. I think the bronzer looks great. Just gives you a little bit of color because I don't spray tan, y'all. I am white as a ghost. And definitely don't forget to work it into the neck and the chest so you don't have a harsh line. Okay. Love that product. Now, all right, we're good on the face. I think we're good on the face. We're moving on to our eyes. Eyes, eyes, eyes. Did I forget the brush? Yeah, I did. All right, well, no problem. Eye palette. My favorite eye palette. We're going to be using two of them. Soft Glow 2 by Anastasia Beverly Hills and Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. That's how I create the eyeshadow look that you guys all love. Two palettes. These palettes last a really long time, fragrance-free. I find that the pigment stays on the eye. It's not under my eye by nighttime. The look holds well. Everybody likes it. Let's do, all right, so we're going to start with Tempura is what I base the eye with. The Tempura, you can take your Pro Concealer brush. I forgot my other brush. And you can just press it into the eyelid. Right there. We're going to press it in. All over your eye. From your eyelid to your eyebrow, press it in. This brightens your eyelid. Brightens your eyelid. Come into the corner. I even do a little underneath. keeps those eyes bright and fresh, gives you a base. Okay, done that. Then we're going to take our, oh my God, this doesn't even have a number. It's so old. Anyway, a blender brush for your eyeshadows. We're going to go to our Charlotte Tilbury palette. We're going to use the two colors here on Pillow Talk. We're going to actually mix them. Oh, great. They don't have individual names. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Sarah. That's so helpful. Okay, look on the video. You're going to take your two kind of pinkish maroon colors, blend them on your brush, tap your brush, get all the excess product on, and then we're going to take it to the crease of your eye. And just like you're making a C on the crease of your eye, you're going to go back and forth. And the secret to having a great eye look is blend, blend, blend. You don't want any harsh lines. You want it to look seamless. And this, we're just going to take on the eye line, your eye socket line, and you can even flare it out a bit at the end. You've mixed those two colors and they're going to look gorgeous. You could already begin to see it in my eye. I love this color. It's like a pinky purple. And the thing is, you can wand it way out because we can clean it up on the back end with concealer. So I watched the Oprah Ozempic doc. I'm not a fan of Ozempic, as you guys know. I lost 60 pounds with mindful eating a decade ago and have kept it off ever since after doing yo-yo dieting, gaining and losing 150 pounds. Here's what I liked about the Oprah doc, and here's what I didn't like. I don't think you should shame people. If you want to try Ozempic or Wegovy, Mounjaro, whatever, go for it. Try it. If that had been around in the early 2000s when I was struggling with my body image, I would have done it. I think that the documentary, I feel the shame. I completely know what Oprah is saying. I think the saddest part about the documentary is Oprah's 70 years old and never in a moment throughout the documentary, she never talked about, hey, how or do you even have good self-esteem where you don't give a fuck what people think about you? My problem with this whole like body positivity movement is out the door and gone is where are the 70-year-old women that are like, I don't give a shit what I look like. I'm not trying to be a size 4. I don't care. Not one person on that documentary for Oprah's Ozempic had any good things to say about their body or what their body has been through or and they never even addressed any of their trauma. The girl that was a teenager that was overweight, they never once said to that girl, hey, let's talk about your eating habits that you could be predisposed to being large, but let's talk about your eating habits. How'd you grow up eating? What are your beliefs around food? Did your parents always tell you have to finish everything on your plate? Like, how about that? There was never any discussion in that documentary about chemicals in our food. The only guy that did it was Dr. Butch, who's on the payroll for Ozempic or Wegovy or Weight Watchers, because Oprah says, now how you guys work with the pharmaceutical companies, right? Like what's your relationship? And they're like, well, we're consultants. We share our research. He's the only one that said, yeah, obesity's become a disease because of the crap that's in our food that's now changed our gut, which has altered our brain because we know that now the gut and the brain are closely aligned. And now they don't communicate the same, and people's bodies are storing more fat than ever. My issue was, where was anybody who was like, hey, you know what? I'm 15 pounds overweight, and I don't really care. I'm actually, like, happy. How about the mom that like lost 300 pounds on it, but had lost her father, had a very sick child? Yeah, that's why you're stress eating. Like, have you resolved any of that trauma? Like, none of that. It was none of that. It was like, well, I found this injection, and I've lost 200 pounds and things are great. And now people don't look at me, which I completely know how that goes because I was fat my whole life. So people looked at me like, you hog, can't you figure it out? But I lost my dad. I experienced terrible trauma. Food was comfort. I grew up in a household where, my mom, when we've talked about our food story, my mom was little, she went to bed hungry. So when my parents were making, decent, they were just average people making decent money and they could afford food, she wanted to make sure we were never hungry. So it's like, that's why we were overfed. You begin to unpack like generational trauma around food, generational beliefs around food. documentary drove me nuts. Didn't deal with any of that. It's like, oh, great. Now you did your shot. Okay, next step for your eyes. You're going to take your Soft Glam 2 Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. We are using the mulberry color, and we're going to just put it in the crease of our eyes. Mulberry, we're using it here on a 217 brush from Sephora. You tap, and you're just taking, again, we're going to blend, so you're seeing some lines from me, but all good. So that was my complaint. I just think there are some people, I mean, that young girl, they never even talked about her food story or trauma of what her parents are like for her to be overweight. Sure, I'm sure she could be one of those kids that just has this genetic proponent that keeps her, that is very hard for her to lose weight. But I bet it's not the full story. And now she's on a shot that she's going to have to take for the rest of her life, which is probably going to stop working. And I think in 5 years, you are going to see the most massive collection of depressed, suicidal human beings from this shot because it's going to stop working. And when the weight comes back, but they haven't resolved the trauma as to why they eat when they're not hungry, you are going to have major, major issues in society. But I hope I'm dead wrong. And hopefully there's another drug people can hop on and they don't have that problem. All right, in the corners, we have taken our mulberry, and after you've put the mulberry in the corners, you can go back with your eye crease brush and just blend it back and forth a little bit into the eye, tap it into the crease. You can tap it out because, again, we'll clear it up the end, and do both sides. But you want most of your mulberry to be on just in the crease on the side. All right, then we're going to end with Dreamer. We're going to put Dreamer all over the lid of the eye. I actually just use my finger. I use my middle finger. Take it in, and you're going to tap it on your eyelid from the inner crease to about halfway because you want the mulberry, the dark eye crease to pop so that your inner eye looks bigger and even more pronounced. See that? Oh my gosh, this is my favorite eye look. It's so easy, goes day to night. It's just a little sexy, it's a little sultry. And you can tap your Dreamer, put as much Dreamer as you want. All right, do it again. Okay, tap that. Then I go back one last time with my crease brush, the brush that we use, the mulberry. I go back, I dip in the mulberry, and I just put it a little bit again on the outer crease so it makes your eyelid eyeshadow pop. There you go, both sides, just on that crease. There we go. All right. Ah, I love. Now, look, you can spend as much or as little time on this look as you want. You could shut up and get working instead of answering questions like I am, and you'd be done by now. Or you can fuss with it and do all kinds of stuff. You can take your eyeliner. I use a MAC eyeliner in black, Feline Eye Kohl. You can go underneath the waterline, the top of your eye, which I do. You can take it out. You can flare it out. You can take the eyeliner, do the bottom of your line, play around with it, whatever you like. Then I go back with our Pro Concealer brush. That is the brush where we put the base on. I take this and I clean up the lids, okay? So you can see in the video that I have some makeup that I brought way too high up onto my eyelid. So I take the concealer brush and I just smooth out those lines so you don't have like a harsh line. Smooth it out. It's just basically blending out some of the mulberry so you don't have any harsh lines. Okay, there we go. So again, you can make sure this is even for you. My eyelids are a little, like one eyelid has a little bit of an extra kind of like droop than the other. So I just try to even them out as much as possible. so they are as even as they can be. All right, we're doing mascara next. Anyhow, there's your eyes, everybody. There are your eyes. Mascara. Again, MAC. I seem to use Charlotte Tilbury and MAC everything. Black Stack Mascara, the best. You can also, I forgot it, but you can use your eyelash curler. I do a little eyelash curler almost all days. And I do a first layer on the top. This mascara, very like, I love it. Make sure it really separates the eyelashes and makes them look very long, but it's very dewy. So I would often say you're going to need a Q-tip to wipe under your eye because there's often, I think, it's wet. You know, there's often residue. And I do the lower lashes. Okay, and do the other eye. And the best part about the MAC stack is it's called stack for a reason. You go back, you stack the eyelashes. I believe most people do 2 coats. You can do 3 coats. You can do this, then put your fake lashes on if you like that. So good. Okay. Oh, last question. People wanted to know what I thought of John Jansen from Real Housewives of Orange County suing Shannon Bedore for his, he bought her a facelift and suing her allegedly to get the money back for his face, for the facelift he bought her. That would be hysterical. I hope this is true. I had not heard this, but I love the idea of it. And I want someone to buy me a facelift and then sue me to get the money back. Here, you want the excess skin? Here you go. So I finish my look with a couple things. I take a Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. The highlighter I do on the bridge of my nose, right above my lips. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter in the Champagne Glow. Epic, amazing. I also take the highlighter and do just like the top of my cheekbone, the top of my eye. You can even take it up, press it into your eye makeup look. Just lets the light hit that glow a little bit. I do one more time with the Airbrush Flawless setting spray. Oop, take some clips out, And I mean, there's so, this is just such a basic look. It just makes you look fresh. I think it's like, it can be so glammed up if you want to add lashes, if you want to, oh, and I almost forgot my lips. Charlotte Tilbury, I know, you're boring, Sarah. Like, go somewhere and do something else. I use the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, the lip liner, and the lipstick. Do the lip liner for the lips. But this look is so classic. I mean, I've used it on and off for years. Never goes out of style. Charlotte Tilbury, I use the Pillow Talk lipstick with this look. Such a great daytime look. And again, you can take this look tonight by adding lashes, add a little more under eye concealer to make the eyes pop. I use this matte lip, the Pillow Top matte. It's like a lip, you know, a lipstick that's more of a matte look, but you could add a gloss to it and make it look a little bit more glam. Zhuzh it up. Okay. Love you. I didn't even get to almost all the questions, and I had questions about business. I'll answer that one really quickly because people wanted to know what's the best piece of business advice and the worst piece of business advice you've ever gotten. The best piece of business advice I ever got was a specific one to podcasting about David Yontef. And he said to me, are you on Megaphone platform to distribute and monetize your podcast? And I said no. And the minute I got on there, my money game changed. That was the greatest piece of business advice I've gotten so far. The second, if you have a small business, get and be a part of every single state has a small business association, SBA, where other business leaders that are usually retired and have extra time help young business people do that. I've gotten so much great advice from small business out here in California, the association. And the worst piece of advice, I think, is talking to somebody that has had, when you talk to other business owners that have failed, naturally they are going to be skewed and bitter, and you do need to be realistic in your business. But if you talk to somebody that really isn't, a lot of people own businesses that are not good at business, a ton. I can't even tell you how many. And I will tell you, I never thought I was going to be a business owner with my podcast and podcast company. I've had to make so many mistakes, so many money mistakes. Nothing against anybody. I've fabulous co-hosts, but I paying co-hosts, and like you realize that you make just as much money with a co-host or without a co-host, unless of course Joe Rogan wants to do a trade with me. That would be incredible. But advertising, so many failed advertising ventures. So, but if you talk to people that are not good at business, they are not going to help you. They're going to give you just a very skewed, negative, jaded view of business. So when you get advice from people, you have to check the source. And it doesn't mean that person's a bad person, but there's a lot of people that should not be running businesses that are, and they don't know their strengths and weaknesses. Quite honestly, I need a business manager. I'm an incredible talent. I'm great at foreseeing trends in the business. I'm great at interviewing. But like, am I a numbers? I've had to be, but it's not my strength. Schman is my spreadsheet. Schman is my spreadsheet. So just check the source, because you're going to get a lot of negative feedback as well. All right. Here's my makeup look. This look is so easy for you. And what a transformation. People always see me with makeup and without, and they're like, bitch, why are you going out without makeup? I know. Okay, bye everybody. Love you guys.